Hello! Hey friends! Welcome, welcome, welcome! Me and Miss Rizzo would like to welcome you to another fantastic Strong Style Fitness workout this Tuesday evening. And she's done. She's like, you're welcomed, and I'm out. Oh, she counted on camera? Okay. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so happy to see you here, and I hope you are ready to work. This is another day where I asked you to kind of come with an open mind. We're going to do some more kind of experimental stuff, and experimental doesn't mean bad. It's just trying new things with our bodies, seeing what we can do, seeing how we can get great work without lifting heavy weights, without doing traditional cardio, jumping jacks, things like that. Just new ways to work out that is accessible for everybody. So today, all you're going to need is a pair of light hand weights. Pretty light, maybe not, well, it's all dependent on you, right? So what you would consider light, a little bit of challenge, but nothing too crazy, right? Because we're going to be doing some upper body stuff that's a little bit different, that does require some lighter weight. So I'll probably be using 5, 10 at the most. 10 probably not. If I had a 7.5, I'd probably do like 5 and 7.5. So that's what I'm looking at, just to give you an idea of what I mean. You're going to need a circular resistance band. Now, this is the one time with this type of exercise we're going to do today. I know I've been talking to you a couple times now about these fabric, really, really challenging resistance bands. Not today. We don't want this today. We want good old-fashioned rubber resistance band. Now, you can pick the hardest one you have in these resistance bands, and chances are they don't even touch what one of those fabric bands do. So, but we are going to have this around our ankles for some of our work today, also a little bit around our thighs, but mostly around our ankles, and those bands are just way too tough for ankle work. It's just a no, hard no, okay? So, circular resistance band. You might want to have something close by, support-wise, for balance. So maybe that's your sturdy kitchen chair, Old Faithful, that we use. Maybe that's just having a wall close by, the back of a couch, whatever. Just something close by. We are going to be challenging our balance, particularly in one exercise today. But in a couple of them, we'll have a little bit of a balance challenge. So just something close by to keep you safe, especially if you are very balance challenged, then definitely get yourself something. And the last thing you need, of course, as always, is just your yoga mat, your floor support, whatever that is that makes you feel good on the floor. So while you're getting that all together, just a quick rundown of the workout. So we're doing a full body workout. We're going to have a lower body, an upper body, a lower body, and a core. So today we're doing simple movements, big results is what I like to call it. I've done one of these before. So when I say simple movements, I just mean not heavy weights, not anything overcomplicated. Movements that for the most part, if someone were to watch you, they'd be like, I don't know, what are they really doing? But then when you do it, you're like, oh, snap, okay, that's what they're doing, right? So that's what I mean. I don't necessarily mean simple movements like we're going to go meh, meh, with our finger, anything like that. But just it's nothing too complicated, nothing too complex, just impactful, okay? So that's what I mean. We're going to do we got 4 total sets. Like I said, a lower, upper, a lower, a core. The upper, since we're only doing one, has 1 extra exercise. So we're going to go 3, 4, 3, and then our core is 2. Okay, so that should keep us right in about the time frame that we like to work. Again, we're going to work for reps, not time. The reps do vary a little bit depending on the exercise that we're doing, so just kind of listen for that. And then just my normal stuff, add music if you need it. I will be checking Facebook for questions, as always, between sets. And that being said, if you have any questions about modifications, send them my way via comment. I'll be happy to help you. Or if you're doing this exercise workout after I'm done, after it's live, feel free to shoot me a direct message, and I'll be happy to help you there too. And let's see, modify as needed, of course. And then always just my last 2 things is please share these workouts, share my page, share. Get this message out of the awesome things we are doing here in this Strong Style Fitness community, bringing fitness to everyone, making it accessible for everyone, and making everyone feel successful. That's my main goal. And lastly, if you would like to send any donations my way for these classes, it is greatly appreciated. It is the only payment I receive for these classes. Venmo at Strong Style Fit is where you'll find me. Or if you're not a Venmo person, just let me know. We will figure something else out. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get ourselves put together. I'll kind of get our equipment. I'm going to take a drink. As always, check the video. It's like the thing I always say, get a drink, check the video, and then we will get started. So what we're going to need is we're going to need that resistance band, so your circular resistance band. We're going to do 2 exercises standing, 1 exercise on the ground. The exercise standing, this isn't going to be our super balance challenge exercise, but it can cause a little bit of balance disruption. So go ahead and grab your support item or get next to your support item, just in case, but this one isn't going to be too crazy, but you might need a little help. Okay? All right, so a drinking video, and we're going to get started. All right, my dears. So our resistance band, we're going to put around our ankles. Resistance bands can be a little tricky, so do whatever you need to do to get that band on without falling down. I know, they're like pulling up and down pantyhose, if anyone remembers wearing pantyhose when that was a thing. All right, guys, so we're going to do what's called a front, side, back lift with the bands. It's pretty straightforward, just a couple things to remember. So before you get started, we're going to lift to the front, we're going to lift to the side, and we're going to lift to the back. The things I want you to keep in mind is when you lift, you're only going so far that you can control it coming back. So if you pull it so far that it bounces your leg back, that's not the exercise. You're pulling and then resisting, okay? So that's really your main cue for working with bands, is that you are the one under control, the band is not controlling you. If you are wearing a band and able to kick your leg out this high and control it coming back, sister, brother, your band's too light in the resistance. Up that band up. The goal is not to rocket kick with the band. The band is supposed to make it challenging. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to stand. We shift our weight to one foot. Make sure you've got that core nice and engaged. Don't start to slouch out. Stand tall. We're going to lift. And we go front, side, back. Extra credit is not to touch your foot down in the middle, but if you need to, you need to. 2, good. 1, side. When you go back, make sure you stay upright. We don't do this when we go back. Our body stays upright no matter what direction we move. 3, 4. Also, don't be surprised if you feel work in your standing leg too. Standing leg's doing a lot of work. It's holding all of your weight and also having to resist that band as well. So nothing's wrong if your leg over here feels like it's working as hard or harder than the other leg. I believe we're on 9 through all my talking. If my count's wrong, then you go with what's right. And I'm going to do one just to be certain. There we go. All right, other side. Stand tall. Make sure you're not cocking all your weight out to one hip. Stand tall through that hip. Talked about that some on Saturday as well. Stand tall. We lift. Front, side, back. Front, you're squeezing through that quad. Side, you're squeezing through that hip. Back, you're squeezing that booty. 2. Good. Quad, hip, booty. 3. Quad, hip, booty. 4. Front, side, back. 5. 6. Also, don't be alarmed if you're already feeling some burn. This is pretty intense. Again, doesn't look like much, right? 9. Last one. Woo. Right? All right. Let's bring it down to the floor. Now, once we get to the floor, we're going to roll this band up, shimmy it up, and get it up around our thighs. Now, this is where I wish I was using the fabric band, because these bands do tend to roll on us, but we live, right? We'll get through it. So we're gonna lay back on our back, make one more attempt to see if I can flatten this band out, because it really is much more comfortable when it's flat. There we go. All right, so we're gonna do a froggy bridge. We've done these a couple times before. So we're gonna start with our feet a little more narrow than a normal bridge. Not right side by side, just a little bit of space between. We're gonna push up our hips just like a normal bridge, so everything else sets up just the same. But when we push up at the top, we flare our legs open, really squeezing through that outer rim of the booty, and then we set it down, okay? Again, only opening to the point you can control it down. If you open and then pop, legs back together, don't open quite so far. All right, guys, let's go for it. 1, 2, 3. Really think about that booty. 4. Keeping that core nice and engaged. 5. 6. 7. 8. We're going to 12 here. 9. 10. Again, it's a fluid movement. 11. Last one. 12. Perfect. All right, we're going to bring it back up to standing. Make all the clothing adjustments needed here. Then we're going to take that band and bring it back down to our ankles. There we go. All right. Booty probably feeling it. We're going to dig right back into it, okay? All right, so we've got 10 on our left. Again, make sure that weight is centered, not knocked out. Up. Let's go. Quad. Hip. Booty. Quad. Hip. Booty. Quad. Hip. Booty. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. Ooh, I'm getting shaky shaking that plant leg. Nah, this is our last one. There we go. All right. Other side. Set it up. Let's go. Now, if you've been using your balance item, but you feel like you're not really needing it, give it a shot and not let go. It is a little more challenging. It adds a little more challenge overall to the exercise because now you're balancing too. But that's good. As long as your balance is kind of on point today, and you're not a fall risk person already, then give yourself a try. I'm doing terrible at counting today. I believe this is 8, 9, last one. Yes, yes. All right, let's come down to the floor. And again, that oh so delicate dance of pulling this band up. I know, and I'm sorry, it's super unexciting to watch me flatten out a band on video, but man, they're really terrible if they're not set up right. All right, so let's get ourselves set. We've got our bridge position, feet just a little more narrow than normal, core engaged. I like to flatten out, elongate my spine. We're here. We push up. As we push up, we open. Going for 12. 12. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 11. 10. 9. 8. 7. And again, make sure it's fluid. Don't push to the top and then open. It's a fluid motion. Good. I believe we have 3 left. 3. 2. Last one. Perfect. Woo. My accountant brain is just not on point today. Had a super hectic day, and I feel like I say that every day nowadays. So my brain is all sorts of scrambled coming in today. I think it's just kind of checked out. It's like, nope, sister, today would have been a good day to have a circuit. Let somebody else keep up with the time because you are not doing it. All right, guys, so just bear with me. We're doing 10 of these on each side, 12 the froggy bridge. If my counting goes haywire, you just do what's right, okay? All right, guys, let's go. Stand up tall through that hip. Engage that core. We lift. Quad. Hip. Booty. Quad. Hip. Booty. Uh-oh, text message. 3. I forgot to turn on my do not disturb. 4. 5. 6. Woo. 7. 8. 9. Last one. 10. Pardon me one moment. I'm going to waddle off camera. Okay, waddling back on the camera. All right, let's go, guys. Other side, if you haven't started already, let's go. Front, side, back, front, side, and back. Good. Quad, hip, booty. 4, 5, 6, 7, woo, all the burn. 8, last 2, 9, 10. Woo, all right, guys, one more set, froggy bridge. Bring it down. Try to gracefully bring the band up. Ooh, maybe. Woo! Yay! All right, guys, let's lay it back one more time. So get those feet just a little more narrow this time, the hip width. I like to pick up my spine, tuck my tail, roll my spine down nice and flat. Tuck those shoulders under. Let's lift and open. 12, 11, 10. Be mindful if you have one leg that tends to dominate, open harder than the other. 8, and my right does. So I'm really trying to focus more on that left. 7, 6. You can also put a hand. 5, kind of on the sides of those cheeks. 5, just kind of feel. See if one's squeezing harder than the other. 4, 3. This is one where it's super easy to feel what's working. 2, last one. 1. Beautiful. Bring it down. You can go ahead and slide that band off from here if you want. Woo. Bring it on up. If you're feeling a pretty intense burn, you can stretch it out a little bit, totally up to you. That is the end of what we need our bands for. So you can put those bands away. So again, simple movements, right? Front, to side, to back, a bridge with a little open, nothing dramatic, nothing crazy. You might not even really be sweating yet. I've actually got some cool weather, so I haven't started dripping yet. But you feel it, right? Like my booty is just like, hello, hello, hello. So it's kind of the point of today's workout. Full body, simple movements, but big things happening, right? All right, so now you're gonna do some upper body. So let's grab our light weights. I'm gonna set up a 5 and a 10, but truth be told, I don't know that I need the 10, but we don't know until we try, right? I'm gonna set those up and take my quick little break. You do the same. I'll meet you back here in just a couple seconds. All right, friends. So, upper body. Again, we're going to do some smallish movements, but we're really going to dig in on them. And we're going to do them back to back to back, kind of like a bar class, where we don't give those muscles time to relax. We're going to keep them engaged. So we'll move pretty quick, but it's going to be awesome work. So I'm going to start with my 10s, just to see. And then, what do I always preach? Listen to your body, listen to what it's telling you, and if it's too much, you go down. Also, we're working some small, especially shoulders here. So just be mindful of what's happening in your neck and in your traps. And if you feel your traps are kind of the muscle that connects your neck to your shoulder, to really oversimplify it. So if you start feeling those kind of muscles really pulling, drop the weights. You're too heavy, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go through it pretty quickly. So you kind of know what to expect, and then we'll dig in more once we get started. We're going to do a static curl front raise. And actually, let's just go ahead and get started. So static curl front raise, we're going to be here. So what I mean by static curl is we're in sort of a mid-bicep curl, and that's where we're going to keep it. So we keep that bend here, and then we push up and forward to here and back down. So we're not started just yet. Let me show you again. We're here, shoulders relax and down. We lift up. We bring it back down. All right, so we're going to go for 10 of those. 10. So we're working shoulders here, also chest, because we have this narrow grip. 3. We're going to keep those shoulders relaxed, down away from your ears. 4. So nothing tricky here, right? Simple movement. 5. I'm already feeling my chest. 6. And the fronts of my shoulders a little bit. 7. 8. Ooh, a little bit of tricep too. I'm starting to feel those saying hello. 9. Last one. 10. Perfect. So from here, we're going to go right into a standing pec fly. So we're going to hold here like we were going to do an overhead press. We're here, and sort of like the static curl, our arms stay the same, but we're just going to pull forward, open back up. Pretty intense, to be honest with you, all right? So let's go. We've got 10, 10, 9. So you're squeezing chest and you're squeezing shoulders to open. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! That is some legit burn. That's the one I think if I had like a 7.5, I'd probably do a 7.5. I didn't really feel anything inappropriate working, but it was definitely pushed to its max. All right, so we're going to do a diagonal press. So diagonal press, we start with the weight across our chest. So we're here, we still try to have our chest open. We don't want to roll like this. Your shoulder might have to come forward a little bit, especially if you're a more blessed in the chest woman. That's okay to have a little bit of twist. but you really want to try to stay as open as you can. So we start here across, we lift like we're doing a YMCA, and then we bring it back down. 2. I'm going to go down because I'm already feeling something I should. All right, so I'm going to start back at 2. You can feel free to proceed. We're doing 10 on each side. 3. 4. So now that the weight's lighter, I can really focus on what I'm supposed to be working, which is, can I hold my hand there? 6. Your shoulder muscles through here. 7. 8. 9. 10. Perfect. So I never could have moved with that much control, and I never would have felt it so isolated in that one part of my shoulder if I was doing that heavy weight. When I was doing that heavy weight, I was feeling it all kind of through here, which is not the point of that exercise. So we're also getting these muscles kind of fired up with our previous exercises, so they're really going to be like, hey, let me do that work, and they're going to be tired from doing all the other work. So not a good combination. All right, guys, other side, diagonal press. Again, we're trying to keep that shoulder nice and open, not rolled. Let's go. 10. So really slow it down. If you're kind of like where I am, where I'm in between weights, I could probably do it a little heavier, but not double. Just really kind of slow it down. 8. And think about that muscle you're supposed to be working and really give it a squeeze up at the top. 7. And give a little half-second pause, squeeze. 6. Now, if you're working at your appropriate weight, you might not need that extra little squeeze and pause at the top, but it's always good to do if you can. 4. Also evaluate if you can't stop for a quarter of a second squeeze, or maybe a little too heavy. 2. Last one. Perfect. All right, guys. So we've got that static curl, front raise. We're going to start right back over. No big rest. I think I'm still good with these weights for the static curl press. We'll see. All right, guys, so remember we've got that kind of half bicep curl loaded up, and that's where we stay. Then we go from there, up. 1. 2. 3. Keep sending those messages to your shoulder and your neck. 4. They're not invited to this party. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Perfect. All right, set those down. I'm going to drop my weight, and we're going to do a standing pec flies. So we're here, we're open. We're going to keep that static hold here. Close to the front. Open. 9. 8. 7. 6. Glad I dropped those weights. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Whew, man. Again, little movements, right? We're not doing anything crazy. Nothing crazy, but we are getting to work in those shoulders and that upper body. All right, so we got our diagonal press. Stand tall, open shoulder, bring it across. Let's go for 10. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Good, other side. I also just had like the greatest aha moment. I was thinking like, man, I mean, these are challenging exercises, but I feel like let's go ahead and get started. 10. I shouldn't be feeling quite this challenged. Interesting. And then it hit me. Oh yeah, you did yard work all weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Nothing but holding hedge trimmers and clipping and pulling and dragging tree limbs. Oh, that's why your upper body's toast already. I was beginning to get a little worried. 5. 4. Yard work is no joke, right? Cool. 2. And 1. Perfect. Take just a short little break. Yeah, yard work is no joke. I was just talking about that with one of my clients in person. So crazy the spots you get sore, even if you're a pretty fit person. And it's so hard to have good form. Even on things where you can sort of figure out how to get good form, after you're doing it for an hour, it sort of falls apart on you. I have full respect for my landscaping friends out there. All right, guys, and one more trip through. We've got that static curl front raise. So we're here, we lift straight up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Good job, hang in there. 5, I know I'm burning. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. All right, shake it out for just a sec. My left is like, whoo. All right, I don't know what I was doing that I was so left dominant out in the yard. All right, so we've got our standing pec fly, 10 of those. So we come here and we close it in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. If you have the mobility in your shoulder, you can curl those weights in like I am. That just gives you a little extra squeeze in that chest. 3. But if not, you just keep it here. 2, 1. Good. All right, last one we've got those diagonal presses. One more trip through, 10 each side. So we square it up, gauge that core, lock that shoulder back. We're not here. And we open. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. Other side. This is when we laugh about myself and a client. I introduced this exercise to her and she uses it a lot. And she's crazy fit, amazing shape, so talented and skilled and smart about being in the gym. And it's so funny because this is one you never see people doing, 10. And she says she gets all sorts of funny looks in the gym when she's doing it. Like, what is that girl doing? And we just laugh because we know we're building some bomb shoulders. That's what we're doing. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Believe it or not, that's all you need for weights today. So you can put those weights out of your way. We are going to need a decent amount of space for our next exercise. We're not really traveling anywhere, but just make sure that you're far enough away from objects that you can kick your leg behind you, straight behind you, and not hit anything. So for me, like I just tapped it, I'm going to have to step up close to the front of my mat. So forgive me if I'm like extreme close up in your face while we do this exercise. So, no weights needed, just make sure you have some space. You are gonna need your floor support, but really not for you to lay down, just for your hands. So if you do anything a little different for your hands, like if you're in plank, something like that, go ahead and think about that. We're not gonna be doing plank exactly, but we are gonna be working in some down dog, transitioning into something else. So if you need extra help for your hands, now's the time. Otherwise, just make sure you have some room, water, check the video, we'll get going. All right, my friends. So I'm going to take a little bit of time to set this exercise up. Not a ton, but it's one of those, once we get moving, you're not going to really be able to see the camera because you're going to be kind of face down some of the time. So I want to go ahead and set up the first two exercises, and then I'll set up the third one once we get there, but it's another one that I'll set up. We'll take a minute before we get going. So we're going to do what's called crane to lunge. So, crane to lunge, we're going to start in what's called crane. So we're going to stand on our left foot, and we're going to pull our right up to here. So this is called crane. Full crane would be to lift your arms up here, or you can also do here if you have any shoulder issues or they're completely tired from our last set of exercises. So this is crane, okay? So from crane, we're going to start here. We're going to start to tip ourselves forward a little bit, kick that foot back, and land in a lunge. Did you hear how softly I landed? Did you even hear my foot land? That's the point, to move with so much control that you can float down into a lunge, and then from the lunge we drop and we pull back through to crane. So it's kind of one fluid movement. So I'm going to show you again. We start in crane, we slowly lower ourselves back into our lunge, and then we pull through. I'll show you one more time from the side. So we're here, we go into crane, we slowly lower ourselves back into our lunge, and then pull back through to crane. Okay? So, probably our biggest movement, but again, it's one that's not flashy. If someone saw you, they'd just be like, is she stretching? What's going on? Crazy engagement in your booty cheeks, in your quads, when you're lunging, in your core. We are working everything. If you choose to crane with your arms up, you're working your shoulders. So you are getting a touch of everything. So we're going to do 8 on each side. I'll do 4 facing the camera, and then I'll do 4 from the side so you can see each direction and what it looks like. All right, only doing 8, only. So let's get ourselves set up. So we're going to start in that crane. Remember, our weight is evenly distributed, not out over our hip. Weight over that leg. We start in crane. We gently step back, no big thud, and then we pull through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that 8 full? I'm not sure. I'm going to do one more. There we go. All right, guys, and I forgot to show you turn sideways. So how about we do this? I'll do this whole round from the front. I'll do the next whole round from the side. How about that? All right. So you also might notice my lunge, I actually am dropping to touch my knee to the floor most of the time. Not necessary. If that's not how low you can lunge, don't go that low. This is a recent development for me. I'm going to take advantage of it while I can, so I am trying it out, experimenting with what my knees can do. But if that is not where you are at, don't go there. Lunge to your lowest point, okay? All right, so other side, We start in crane. We lower back. Shut. Two. Three. Four. Five. Six. Make sure you're staying over that ankle, knee behind your toes. I believe this is 8. Perfect. All right, that could be a little intense. I totally get it. It's a great exercise for balance, for core, for arms, for quads, for glutes. You're just killing everything. All right, guys, so the last thing we're gonna do in this round is called a bear squat. You might be familiar with a bear crawl, especially if we worked out in similar places. Previous instructor, hello Jeffrey, love the bear crawl. So what that looks like is we're gonna start in a down dog. So where I like to find my down dog is I go into plank and then shoot my hips up. And that's sort of my down dog. So from there, I'm gonna grab this extra mat, because this is a little slippery. So I'm gonna grab my extra mat. So we push up into our down dog, and then we lower our knees. Our hands, our shoulders should come over our elbows. We lower our knees just to hover, and then push back up. So we don't touch down, we just hover, and then push back up. All right, so we're going for 12 of those. Whenever you are ready, I'm gonna start now. 12. 11. 10. Again, don't touch those knees down. 9. If you have some knee issues and you need to stop higher than just hover, then just stop higher. 8. I have been there. 7. 6. Once you feel pretty comfortable that you're dropping your knees to the right height, I encourage you to extend your head out to like where you would from normal plank. Looking slightly ahead of your hands. 5, instead of leaving your head tucked down. We tend to do that so we can see where our knees are, but it's not good for our spine. I believe that was 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right. Working that lower body. So again, not a huge explosive movement, nothing super crazy happening, but you should be feeling those quads pretty good from that. All right, so we are going back through it as promised. I'll do mine from the side so you can get a side perspective of what the crane to lunge looks like. All right, so we start on our left. We come up to crane, arms up. We lower back. We drop down. Pull back through. 2. 3. And be mindful when you're lifting those arms, don't lift your shoulders up. 4. Just like anytime we do things overhead, your arms should not be touching the sides of your head. That means that you're scrunching your shoulders up. 5. 6. 7. Last one. 8. All right, other side. Whew. Oh yeah, right foot forward, Tracy. All right, guys, so get that weight over that leg, not shift it out. Start tall, step back. 10. 9. 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job, guys. That one's got me a little sweaty. A little sweaty. All right, so we've got those bear squats. So again, we want to set up our plank first. And then from there, our hips drive up. And we want to work our heels towards the floor. Now if we're really tight, your heels might be up here. And that's okay. Just a goal is to get those heels down towards the floor. Then from here, we drop down, let our knees just hover, pick it back up. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, almost there, 2, 1. Perfect. All right. We got one more trip through, friends. Okie doke. So I think I'm going to do them from the side again. Maybe I'll switch which side's the front side this time. But I think you can probably see what I'm doing a lot better from the side versus the front. So we will do that. I'll flip sides. So I have my left forward over here. So we got one more trip through, guys. If you're getting tired, you can't hold this move, you can't step back lightly, then you can start and crane, touch down, step back, do your lunge, step up, crane. So just add a step in the middle. If you are getting to the point that you can't control this movement, just add a step in the middle, no big deal. And remember, don't feel the need to lunge your knee to the floor if that's not available to you. It hasn't been available to me in years. Just now started happening for me again, so I'm giving it a shot. Don't feel that pressure though, okay? All right, so here we go. Set up our crane. We step back. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. I don't think I introduced this, but of course, if you need help with balance, have your chair here beside you and just do one arm. 3. 2. Last one. Perfect. So yeah, if you need wall, chair, especially now that we're getting a little more tired, feel free. Safety first. All right. Other side. Here we go, guys. Crane. Push back. 10. 9. 8. Find you a focal point. 7. Across the room. Don't follow your hands. Don't look down towards your feet. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Beautiful work, guys. Really feel it on that booty cheek and those quads and the front leg. Such good work. I definitely encourage, if you like that one, to do more like 12 reps. I just knew due to time constraints, that's kind of a slow exercise. If we did 12 on each side, it'd get a little long. I definitely encourage you, if you're gonna do that one in a practice of your own, to go for a little bit longer. Try to go for 12 if you can. All right, last set of those bear squats. So we're gonna have our plank, put our hands nice and wide, steady base. Push those hips up. Drop those heels towards the floor. Hips come up. When we drop down, look out in front of our hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Also sneaking more shoulder work in on you. 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 more. 11, 12. Whoo! All right, guys. Whew. Lower body is done. We've got one more set. We're gonna do a little bit of core work. It's just 2 exercises. I say just 2, doesn't mean that they're necessarily easy, but we're just doing 2. We're gonna do some work, working on our back half, our back core. There's a back to your core, and then we're gonna work to the front. So 2 exercises. Both are gonna be in the floor, so go ahead and get yourself set up. First exercise doesn't have too much setup. Second exercise, a fair amount, just because it's one of those that if you don't do it right, it's really easy and you're not really doing much. So I'm gonna give you some tips on how to really get the most out of this exercise. It was definitely one exercise that I had been told to do for years and was like, pardon my language, but what in the hell am I supposed to be getting from this exercise? It was just silly. It felt more like rest than anything. It looked stupid. Just a few months ago, I kind of learned what it's really supposed to be, and I was like, geez, got it. Okay, now, I see. All right, guys, so we're gonna take one more quick break, and we're gonna get started. Again, we're gonna be in the floor, so go ahead and get yourself ready. Yay, Caroline, I'm so excited that you enjoyed the crane lunges. They're awesome. Like, they're such great work, and once you kind of get the hang of it, like, you feel really graceful kind of doing it, which is not something and someone in my body type really says too often. So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's really, really cool. It's something that I kind of learned from yoga. If you enjoy stuff like that, and you haven't tried yoga, give it a shot. We can do it together sometime. All right, friends, so let's come on down to the floor. We're gonna do what's called a prone swim. So prone, just in technical terms, prone means face down. Yeah, pretty easy, right? So we're gonna lay on our face, lay face down, and we're gonna do a swim. So basically think Superman. So we're gonna engage through our back body, we're gonna engage our booty to lift everything, and then we do little swim flutters. So we're not looking for a movement like this, that's actually easier and dangerous. So we're just gonna look for flutters. We're gonna do a count of 10, but each one, it's more of me counting to 10, not 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, because that's really, really fast. So we're gonna move in flutters, and I'm gonna do a slow count to 10, okay? So just to get it set up, I don't think my whole body can get in the frame, but I'll get what I can in there. So we're gonna have our feet out, our arms out, shoulders and neck down. So neck long, shoulders down. We're not up here. Again, if your shoulders are touching your ears or your sides of your arms are touching your head, then you're shrugging your shoulders. So put them down. And then how we engage, we squeeze our booty, our legs come up a little, We squeeze our back body, our upper body comes, and then we flutter. Okay? So that's where we're at. For my count of 10, let's go. Now, 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep squeezing. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set it down. Not too bad, right? Okay, so the setup exercise. This is called a dead bug. Exercise made no damn sense to me for ages, but once I learned, boom, beautiful. So we're gonna do dead bug. So we lay on our back, and I'm gonna show you really only it's not a modification, it's just a variation of this exercise because I want you to really focus on doing it right. So dead bug, first, we lay flat, we got our spine nice and long. We flatten our core. That does not mean suck it in and try to make the tiniest little belly you've ever had. You just flatten and engage, tighten. Really think about flexing your muscles, not sucking it in, but a flex, an engagement. Pelvic floor, really important here, needs to come up and in. Not to be graphic, but imagine you are pulling something up and in and then holding it. Or think of something small and you're continually trying to pull it in. Not to be gross, but it works. So we've got a flat, engaged core, pelvic floor tilted up and in. We bring our arms and legs to 90, 90. Rethink about that engagement. We're here. We're going to drop alternating arms and legs. There are variations to make it more difficult, but I don't want to do that. Because what I want you to think about is the engagement, the floor up and in, the opposites moving. I want you to think about all that. If I give you a harder variation, you're going to start to struggle. You're going to think about the hardness, the difficulty, not the actual work. So stay with me on this modified version. So flatten, floor up and in, limbs come up, check in on that core one more time, and we drop. We're doing 16 total. 2, 3, 4. If you're keeping everything super engaged, 5, 6. You might already be feeling this. 7. By keeping that pelvic floor engaged, 9. You shouldn't be feeling this in hip flexors. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I may have got off there on my alternating while I was talking, but what I was trying to say is if you have that pelvic floor in, the core tight, you are much less likely to use these hip flexors here to pull your legs in versus your core. If your core is just kind of blah and not doing anything, you're going to be pulling through these hip flexors to lift that leg, which starts to get really uncomfortable. Most of us have really tight hip flexors already, so you really got to think about engaging that core to make the core lift your legs, not your hip flexors. All right, so back to our belly. Engage, extend everything, long neck, shoulders back and down. We squeeze our booty, we squeeze through that back, and we flutter. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! When did I start counting so slow? All right, back over to our back. Now, I'm not going to coach it to death this time, but we want to lay, extend that spine. Flatten out. Up and in. Check it in one more time. And we drop, alternating. Opposite side, opposites. 4, 5, 6. Where's that core? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Perfect. We got one more trip through. On the last trip, if you felt super in control, you knew what your body was doing, everything was peachy, I'll show you the full version, okay? But promise me you won't do it if you didn't feel like you were really getting it the first 2 times, okay? Promise? Pinky swear? Okay. All right, so let's bring it down. Last trip in our swims. Shoulders backing down, neck long. All right, squeeze that booty, squeeze that back. Let's go. 10, 9, where are you swimming to? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna flip it over. So everything that I've set up for you before is exactly the same. Our core engagement's the same, pelvic floor is the same, but instead of these bent levers, we can do full extensions. So we could go out, out, okay? Promise me though, you won't go there if you didn't feel like you were really in control and that your core was doing the work, not your hip flexors. Okay, so set it up, long spine, flatten, up and in. Full versions here. Let's go. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, where's that floor? Up and in. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes. So you shouldn't have felt pull through here. Everything was engaged. Now if you're super tight and you did the full version, maybe you felt a little bit through the hip flexors. But primary work was right through here. All right, guys, believe it or not, you are done. So I know this wasn't like a super sweaty, dripping, panting, begging for mercy kind of workout, but you should feel all of those muscles fired up, engaged, working. We don't always have to kill ourselves to get our muscles working. It's not necessary. Is it fun? Do I love to do it? Is that primarily how I work out? Yeah, but we have to learn to be kinder, move mindfully, and we can get equal work without just busting ourselves the entire workout. So I hope you enjoyed that experiment. Simple movements, big results, round 2. And I hope that you got some really good work out of it. I hope you got something that you can take away to do at home yourself or at the gym yourself. Some moves to steal, happy to share. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I really look forward to working out with you again. If you have anything that you want to do, let me know. Shoot me a message if there's a workout we've done before that you'd like to revisit. If there's something you've heard of that you're curious about, if it's something I feel comfortable teaching, I'd be happy to think about it and consider it and do my best. So please just let me know if there's anything you want to do. Otherwise, I will keep just throwing things at you, getting sciencey with it, and having a good time with you guys. So thank you so much for joining me. As always, please share these workouts, share our message, share the love. And if you do wish to donate any funds to me for these workouts, Venmo at Strong Style Fit is where you'll find me. It is greatly appreciated, and thank you so much for all that do give so generously. You guys have a great rest of your night, great rest of your week, and I'll see you in a few days. Bye.